right, the Climategate scandal exposed global warming as a myth cooked up by alarmists. Now a new book investigates just how they are and how communist corporations, elitist politicians, and reckless scientists have contributed to creating a phony crisis. Let's take a look.
The problem is global in scope and requires a global response. It also requires attention to obstacles in our political system, our market system, in the way we think about the crisis.
Within the last decade, with the help of poster boy Al Gore, the global warming movement has become an international concern. But in the wake of the Climategate scandal, many people are questioning the motives of the people pushing the global warming crisis and asking whether the world has been duped by a complex cover-up of something that does not exist. In his new book, Climategate, Brian Sussman asserts that the global warming hype is really just a form of communism rooted in the principles of Karl Marx. Now, Sussman argues that the communist tenets of moral relativism, the belief in science over God, and the idea of de-developing successful nations to fill the needs of underdeveloped countries all describe the global warming movement. Climategate, he argues, highlighted these principles by showing that the scientists were purposely hiding information that would prove their theories wrong and knowingly deceiving people by manipulating the science. The, quote, green movement has made billions for international corporations, governments, and elitist individuals. Prime example being jet-setting green hero Al Gore. Between his Oscar-winning film, best-selling books, comfy board positions on Google and Apple, and his investments in, quote, green company startups, some estimates are out there that Gore has made over $500 million off the global warming hype and stands to make much more. And let's not forget the current administration. President Obama has pushed hard for cap and tax and has the most aggressive green agenda to date.
And joining me now is the author of Climategate, Brian Sussman, KSFO radio host. How are you? Good to see you.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, how much is Gore going to make off all this?
Al Gore stands to make perhaps $1 billion or more off of global warming. And listen, he doesn't believe in global warming. He doesn't believe in any of this. He believes in money. That's what this is all about,
How do you know
Sean.
that? How do you, I mean, I've got to believe that at least he believes the lie, even in spite of, you don't think so? You think this is, he knows it's a hoax?
1995, he was part of the President's Council on Sustainable Development. He put together something called the New Consensus. In the New Consensus, and this is a handbook used at legislative level all across the country in every state. In the New Consensus, he says, even when the science is uncertain, we need to go ahead with these plans. And we need to build, he said, build consensus. Sean, in my book, I clearly prove there is no consensus. This is a myth.
All right. How are scientists corrupted in this process? In other words, that they would manufacture, distort the data to advance their agenda. How did that happen? Why were they willing accomplices here?
Yes, because the temperature record of the Earth is clearly rigged. So you get Phil Jones at the CRU in the UK. I mean, he's pulled in $19 million for his organization in research grants. The temperature's got to be warming, Sean, otherwise he's not going to get the grants. You look at the money that James Hansen from NASA, who's in charge of the temperature over here, gets. This guy has raked in lots of money for his own self.
All right, we talk about Marxism, to each according to his need, from each according to his ability. This is sort of, you're making the case this is the redistributive model.
Yes.
But on a worldwide basis. So
Absolutely.
We take from rich countries like the United States and Europe and other countries, and we spread the wealth to all the developing countries, put all our resources, money, et cetera, in a collective pot. You think that's at the bottom of this?
I think that's at the bottom of this. Just think, Sean, with healthcare, if we would have had a book that showed us why Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid wanted to cram Obamacare down our throat and what would happen once it was passed and instituted, I don't think that law would have passed. Here it is with Climategate. Read this book, and you will clearly see why they want to do this and what we will lose if they get their way.
Why is the premise, is it predicated on the idea that capitalism is evil and we're raping and pillaging the planet for profit?
One of the founders of Earth Day is Paul Ehrlich, the Malthusian. His writing partner and buddy is John Holdren, Barack Obama's science and technology advisor.
This is the guy that supports compulsory sterilization.
And compulsory abortion. He believes that's constitutional. This is all, that's in my book. This is also a guy who wants to de-develop the United States of America. Take us down a notch, make us more like the rest of the world, take our wealth, transfer it Sean, in this energy bill, there's actually
cap and tax.
Cap and tax. There's actually a mechanism in place whereby if you're 150% of the poverty level, you will get a check deposited in your account on a monthly basis, an unspecified amount of money in your checking account on a monthly basis. That's in the bill.
But go back to what you just said, that they want to take down America, or the president, hedged on the idea of American exceptionalism, right. Said America's arrogant on his apology tour, and now is adopting the failed European socialist model. Right. So isn't that the net result of this? And then, so how does global warming fit into that?
This is a perfect plan whereby instead of using the us against them thing that Marx would use, now they found the environment as the hook. Everybody wants clean air. Everybody wants clean water. Now they're touting global warming and CO2, something you can't touch, taste, or smell, or even see, as the bad guy here.
But the bottom line is global warming is hype.
It's hype.
Global warming doesn't exist.
And it's a way to knock this country down many, many notches, Sean, de-develop the United States, transfer our wealth to other countries, and in the process, squeeze us for our energy.
But you got to admit, they've been successful to a certain extent. They've almost brainwashed and indoctrinated a whole generation of kids. They've convinced them that this is happening.
Yep.
Has Climategate been the eye-opening moment, though, against their agenda?
As far as I'm concerned, it confirmed everything I always believed. The temperature record was rigged. As far as Al Gore goes, and all of this nonsense regarding Al Gore's movie and how it's doctrine and how it's gospel, I go through his movie scene by scene and break it down. This man, in my opinion, is a charlatan.
All right. Thanks, Brian Sussman. Appreciate you being with us. Quick programming reminder, later on tonight.